Why's my own sister siding with Zenoira? Did you forget what those bastards did to our father? How they slaughtered him before our very eyes? Answer me!
I can't. Not yet. But what about you, huh? I told you plain, I don't want you near me. Now go home and bury yourself in your beloved books, why don't you?
Things have changed, Ren. I fight to sever the hand of tyranny.
You've left yourself wide open, fool!
No!
Such a simple woman you are. That you'd shield your dear brother was an all too predictable outcome. You're nothing. No threat to anyone now. If you won't obey my choice, force will have to suffice.
So what am I gonna do today? Well, I'm going to portfolio class and probably do stuff. Probably work on making my resume again, my business cards. That's what I'll probably do. Then go get gas, and if I'm hype enough for it, get the One Piece TCG cards. Those are there. I just need to get them. You know, it's like when it came with the Pokemon Silver Tempest, I got a lot of that because of the idea of how cheap it was. And then now I'm sort of just like with like, oh, but I probably will see. Probably will get good draws. I don't know. Will I ever make a deck? No. Will I look at the cards? Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Have I ever watched One Piece? No.
Not only that, but the leak was directly over his bed. This pissed him the fuck off. Now, he, luckily, he was able to
we need
look
visuals.
through.
We need visuals.
Yeah, you need visuals. There you go. There you go. That's him.
Osborne, he kind of looks like you, but with gray hair.
This is when I was much older than I am now. So, luckily, he went through ye olde yellow pages and found himself a roof repairman.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a new business as I just invented roofs.
Sick.
Now,
Hi, Peter. Picture books.
absolutely.
Yeah. You made it just in time.
Now the man looked through the yellow pages and found himself a company called the Big Roof. And
How big was the roof?
it was very big. It was at least 3 roofs tall.
What color was it?
You asked too many questions.
You're my least
green.
favorite.
Now, whenever they went and called these people up, they said, "Oh, don't worry, we'll send someone out there, but first, we need a week." Yes.
Did they go to Burger King?
What?
Did they go to Burger King?
This is in the
What was the
1800s. Back then, he was the Burger Prince.
Oh. Okay.
So, whenever this happened, he called them up and he said, "But of course, now we just need a week's worth of grain." And I was like, I'm sorry, he was like, "Damn, that's quite a bit. But this leak has been over my roof for a month now. So, honestly, sure, whatever. Fine, I guess." Then, they send the person out there, and he looks very knowledgeable and wise and round and a little bit gross.
What do you mean, gross?
You know the vibe.
What does round mean?
It's what you look like, little one.
Circle? Holy shit!
We have really fucked up genetics, son. Yeah, that's why we don't see Uncle Line. No arms, one leg.
Is round a color?
For no reason.
Shut up, Bree.
Continue with this story, Uncle.
Of course.
Your uncle? Since when?
Now.
Ew.
Too bad.
Great Uncle Tyler.
Exactly.
Oh, you're old. Ew.
This is from when I was older.
Older.
It's also not allowed near the local elementary and middle school.
So you're a predator.
No, I'm beefing with the principal, but that's a different story for another day.
Another story for another day.
So as I talked to this person, they were like, "Okay, this is going to take about a month's worth of grain." Grain is what we used instead of money in the day. I mean, what he used was money. Shut up. And he was like, "Dang, that's a lot, but at least we'll get the roof fixed, right?" So he goes ahead and pays, and the guy goes down to ye old Home Depot and brings back a bucket full of tar, and a ladder, but made of wood because this is old times. And he goes up on the roof and he puts a thin layer of tar over the hole.
Where do you get the tar from?
Ye old Home Depot, right? They're not listening.
Wow, truly.
It was a great, marvelous place. It was as big as they were now, but they hadn't figured out indoor lighting. So at the entrance, you take a torch and walk through like you're Indiana Jones or something.
Did they have wagons or like discounted?
Yes.
Had like arrows carved into the floor to show you the aisles.
But of course.
They had like painted wooden signs to tell you what everything was. And
Absolutely.
How prices
Was Slenderman involved in this Home Depot?
Oh, you mean the thin lass? No, that's
The
a
thin
couple of
lass.
centuries afterwards.
Yeah. That's the next saga. That's a whole other story. So the night after, he went to rest, and guess what happened? Thank you. Rain fell on his head again. He had just spent way too much, 800 grain on this roof repair. And he was pissed. But there was nothing he could do. Or so he thought. Luckily, he went to his bank and showed them receipts and drew up pictures to describe the conversations that they had had, and also drew a diagram of what the roof had looked like, and sent it to the bank in hopes that they might kill this fucker. Now,
Where's fucker?
We'll get to that. It's like a person, but bad.
Oh.
Did the Better Business Bureau get them?
So, we'll get there. He went back up on the roof, and he noticed he had barely used any of the tar in the bucket. So, he went to his house, and he got a back scrubber and a broom, and tied them together, and used the ladder that the guy had left there. The guy left the ladder there. I really don't know why he did that. And climbed up on the roof and did it himself. And then told the guy to never come back again via messenger pigeon. Now, several months later, almost finals week, he receives a message in the mail telling him that he got his $800 back.
Yay!
What is it?
They killed the fucker.
Yeah, what's the dollar?
The dollar is... While this story was going on, they had invented the dollar.
Wow.
But it was on the grain standard, which was fine until the famine came.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened during the famine?
Well, the value of a grain skyrocketed, crashing the local economy.
Is that what the Great Depression was?
Yes. Exactly that.
The grain depression.
The grain depression.
Judge. Is there a picture book reading over here?
Yeah. Now, what's the moral of this story?
Don't let Claude Comer take your energy, or your money, or your blood, or any critical organs. You can have the non-critical organs, though.
You can have one
Close enough.
Did you just say one of your livers? I'm pretty sure you only have one of yours.
You don't have to?
Liver.
Oh yeah, that's real. I actually got a refund for the whole roof saga that happened to me.
And you got a free bucket of tar and a free ladder.
I did, yeah.
Now you can break into any place.
Did the roof
I think, honestly, I've not downloaded all the videos for the next day. What I do is I download the stuff, the footage I have, and then work on it, and then do it. So later on, if I do mention, this is a safety, if I do mention this and what happens on this day, next day, later on, then you know it was saved. If not, then I'm telling the story. So I, Nathaniel Roldan, hereby request Josh Ovalle as a guest on the Internet is Dead podcast. Please, if you're watching, Josh Ovalle, do appear on this podcast. Hello, I am Nathaniel Roldan, editor on March 24th. This is a Snoopy 8 gigabyte flash drive that I'll probably use or not use for next gen as a raffle thing to get people to like me. That is dating this video and where I'm at right now. This was given by my project independent study teacher, Brigitte. The biggest thing for me recording this now is that a lot of the footage that I transferred on December 18th was from my iPhone 14 to iPhone 17. And I had to delete some stuff to make it easier for a lot of the data to be transferred faster. That's what my dad said, so that's the biggest thing. And I thought I did transfer most, if not all, my video footage and photo footage, but I guess not. And that's one of these days. And I do want to talk about the things that happened and transpired during this day, so I'll get to the point. Here is a rundown, or the best moments that I can recall on this day that you didn't see, but I want to talk about. So, only after the cement roller vehicle footage, I went to projects. And projects was good. I think it was just pretty much working on our final stuff and being ready to present our work to other people during that time. And I think we had like a few more weeks like after that to like then be prepared to present what we've done so far with our projects. But it was just like in-class work. And during that time, I believe that I saw this notification on Discord, or this like plan. I think this plan was happening during this week overall. But there was this female named Jasmine who was a sound designer on Lost Seraphim for the game Spirit and Steel, which I was the post-production producer on. So I didn't get to see her beforehand because she did a lot of the pre-production, like applying all the sounds for footsteps, for the VFX, to just the general ambiance of the game. And why is because she moved on to do other stuff. She got a job early, so it was like, that's great. And the biggest thing that I mentioned for her is because she was moving somewhere else, out of the state. So it was a small potluck that someone decided to make. I know their name, Aiden. Aiden is his name. He knows Jasmine the most, so he wanted to make a potluck for her. So after projects, I decided to go to Target, and two things were on my mind, and definitely you heard in the footage that the One Piece TCG. And this was a phase of my life that I will not disclose too much because it's sort of like a run-on thing for this month that I've been talking about, and you'll be surprised if you watch the rest of these videos that come out, how that went about, if I can see if the footage is still there. If not, then I'll talk about it. But the biggest thing is that I went to Target and I decided on two things to buy. One, food for this potluck, and two, the One Piece CCG, because last time I saw it on the racks of like the clear glass thing that they put all the trading card stuff on, so I'm like, I'm gonna get it this time. So first, I went to get the chips, because for me, any type of goal is driven by the fact that if I have something, then I can go to the next goal. And the chip box that I get is the 16 different type box one, just to provide with people. And why I picked chips is because I don't know people's allergies, and it's the safest bet. And later on in the story, you'll see. I get the chips, I hold it in my arm, I go directly to the trading card place, and I was probably wearing a Ponyo lunchbox long sleeve. That's why I'm trying to recall. Or I was wearing something Pokemon related, probably my lanyard, I don't know. There was this girl that works at Target, and she was standing like not near the trading card stuff, but like off to the side near like the girls section where it usually is in the front row. And she's like, oh, I like your Pokemon lanyard. And I was like, I'm not here to be hit on, I'm here to get trading cards. That's what I say in the video. So in my mind though as well, I was like, I'm gonna get this, I have my chips, I'm gonna go pass her. Like, there's a part of me that glossily looked at the container of like the glass thing, so I didn't really like see, but I visually saw that, hey, there was a One Piece thing. So then I turned directly at her, and then she's like, oh, I like your trading card, your lanyard, because it was like a Pokemon thing, or like the Ponyo thing. And I don't think I was walking directly at her, I think I was like passing by, and I was like, I just looked up. So there was no plan on like actually talking to her, but it was kind of a blessing and a curse sometimes to be like, not a curse, I'm sorry, but it's like a blessing that she did talk. And then I say the curse because like, I'm not here for you. I'm here for the cards. But it was a blessing that she did talk. So I'm like, oh, hey, can I get this thing? And what I mean by gloss over, she goes over to the thing. It's like, oh, these are one of those containers where you can just like flip it open. Like, you didn't have to ask me. It's like, oh, okay. And then she laughed on it. I'm like, I'm not here to, I'm here to get the TCG. And then she takes it, and then I get it. And it was not the One Piece TCG thing. It was the One Piece board game thing, which I will definitely put up here. And then I was like, oh, and I was just like, ooh, and I was walking to the shop thing, like, it's like, hope you have the best rest of your day. And it's like, okay. And then I was like, I bought it. And I think I ordered 2. Like, I think I said, oh, can I get 2 of those? Again, not focused on her, focused on like the glossy, like in the air, like, oh yeah, sure. And then she gets it and she talks about, okay, you can just slip your hand in. And she gives me like, ooh, and I'm like, thank you. And then a part of the FOMO brought it to me. So I crashed out a little bit, and you would see me be in the car. And then like, guess what? I got the One Piece TCG. Not! I got 2 of these. Why? And then I would talk about my encounter. But I got the chips. I drive to the GG Pen, and it's roughly around 6, 7. I'm kidding, sorry. But yeah, 6 or 7 p.m. and I recall at the team space, I was carrying the chips. It was Jax, Sam, Aiden, and then Jasmine in the corner on the back end. You can't really imagine it, but I'm just describing it. And Jax and Sam were looking at the Spirit and Steel game in Unreal Engine to do any bug fixes. And Xavion was there as well, I believe. And Jasmine was sitting there watching stuff, and then Aiden was talking about, oh my gosh, I gotta like move my apartment. Like, do you want my bedding? Can I buy off the bedding? Can I buy off like your pressure cooker or your rice cooker or whatnot? Because she was moving out of an apartment and she was offering to give stuff to him, like a mattress or whatnot, and steam pots. And I meet them for the first time, Jasmine, and I just sit down and I wave. And I also talk about that I am the post-production producer and joking about like how that's like. And then I was sort of like, well, lucky that you left or something along those lines, like deprecating humor on that regard. Because I think just for any projects that you work on, it's a taxing thing. And this was during the time where at the end, it was nearing the end of the semester, so everyone was cooling down after finals, and it's like, you had to be here, like that type of scenario. So after talking, there was another person with like frilly hair, I forgot their name, but they're also a sound designer, and they brought to the potluck apple cider, and they brought like their what's it called, like pressure cooker thing that's portable, and they had apple cider jugs, and they had like cinnamon sticks and whatnot, and then they let it cook, and that was really good, actually, the apple cider. And during that time, people started funneling in because they had art classes, and I recall the people that were there were Adrian, Rosie, Sasha, Dylan. You see them, some of them in the video later on. Oh, Tyler. Oh my gosh, this is gonna suck that I forget their names. Oh no, it's been a while. Isaiah. Oh no. Okay, this is a test. I can look up really quick. Was Prava there? I don't know. Hunter. That was the one I was blanking. I'm sorry. And Nisa. Nisa was sort of there. Eli. Was Kieran there? Nina. I think that was it. Alex? Was Alex there? I don't know. Most of the team was there. Some people were not there, I will say. I think. And notably, what they brought, I think notably it was like, oh, Sasha. Sasha was there as well. She brought sugar-free chocolate cake, which was really good, very slimy in the way of doing cuts. And I think Dylan brought sugar cookies, and I brought the bag of chips. So I don't think there was a lot of food-specific stuff. So when most people came together, I think Jax was talking about like, wow, I didn't expect a lot of people to actually be at this potluck. I'm like, dude, you have the extroverted vibes. You also have introverted mindset, man. Like, what's going on? When most of the people got there at the team space, we gathered around, and then most of the people got the chips, you know, and I clutched with that. I clutched with the chips. I saw there was a empty chip bag box, but I clutched with getting more. So that's it. And then everyone was conversing, and I think there was a lot of jokes about like, man, ha 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 ha, Spirit and Steel, more like Spirited R-rated. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, let's get those mods in. And they were joking, la la la. And Storytime we cut to story time at that point. People are just like mingling, conversing, and light networking after, because it's a vibe. Then after that, it was dying a little bit more down, and I think Jasmine had to leave at some point, probably like 8 to 9. So I was like, okay. People said goodbye. It was like, nice meeting you, I said. And afterwards, most people left at this point, and I was still there just to just hang out. And I think I was pulled into helping Adrian, because at this time, me and Adrian were taking a lighting class together with Morgan. And I think it was like during like our final project for that class, which was lighting a mansion in some form of lighting setting. So I helped her with doing that most of the time, and that made me stuck at the school for a long time. And we almost got like hysteria at that point, and just drinking apple cider and drinking water, and then doing all that. I think Rosie was still there, and Nina, and like some people still there. Tyler was still there. And then Danny shows up with oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot the teacher's name, who was my, not Python, C++, like blueprints in Unreal teacher for coding. Ethan. There you go. And he was on all about just like, man, how are you guys doing? Like, how are you doing? It's like the most, I believe, iconic thing is like, so-and-so would do really good in prison. That type of vibe. And then it was just fun, laughs and whatnot, inside jokes on things. It's like, well, and that's what I'll get into in that one. And they left, and then I think I finished helping Adrian with her stuff. Then I say goodbye and whatever. After that, with like Adrian and whatnot, and helping out with her stuff. And then I go into the car, and then I drive to the parking lot around Ben Franklin's, QFC, Qdoba, and then I recite what I was talking about here. And at the end of the day, what would I rank this day? I would rank this day a solid A. And it's like, why is that? It's not an S tier, but it's an A tier, because for me wanting to talk about it afterwards, and definitely this is shorter, it makes this video shorter, and sometimes great that it makes this video shorter, because I spent a lot of time wanting to converse and talk about things. I do know, a little sneak peek, is that I know at the end of these videos of my I Spend a Day, whatever, December series, I want to finish it because I have so many plans on, 1, finishing my recaps for my Instagram, 2, then being able to upload my stuff for I Spend a Day series. And why I spent like doing a drawing each day series. And why I paused that is because it was definitely taking over the mindset as well of me not uploading like my full videos of the I Spend a Day series. And I know for a fact that the I Spend a Day series, this is just me covering this, I guess. I know for a fact that the I Spend a Day series in December and whatnot, it's not gonna get the views, it's not gonna get the likes, but it's a personal threshold for me that I'm like, I have this footage and I wanted to show it. What I want to talk about it, I want to talk about it, and I want to showcase it, because it was a part of my life that I wanted to practice for myself. This is just a little insider of what I want to talk about, of how to give myself a platform in some capacity, just to be able to express like, how do I want to talk, and how do I talk, and what do I find interesting in. And sure, I will see through my flaws, but the biggest thing was at the beginning of this challenge was like, not every day is perfect. There is a DNA strand for every video edit that I do. That's why I show the I Spend a Day in my posts of like my timeline of how I edit the videos, because although they are all the same format, they are all different and unique in that regard of how I express myself. And I try to do it at least 75 to 80% of what I do on a daily basis. 20% is like obviously the privacy of what I can have, and to ensure that I don't feel insane that I'm sharing everything of my life. But the biggest goal is that after I finish the December series, I want to do like almost a sit down with like the multi-cameras vibe and be like, well, how did I go about doing the I Spend a Day series? Like a behind the scenes of that. Because I was watching this video today, I was going to date this video, and I'm going to end it here after this, is I was watching Last Meal from Mythical Kitchen, and they are celebrating, I believe on this day, I didn't check the footage, their 100th episode of Last Meal, and they did behind the scenes, and they had like the crew talk about like what this was the best series that they done, like I was working a job and then I got this, and my takeaway for this day, I would say, but not this day, but in general, I feel like when you work in this century, I think there's so much opportunity to not just make money, but to create something that you can have other people be aware of, whether or not they have the time or not. And I would want to talk more about that on a separate video, not this video particularly, because I want to keep editing my videos because I have a lot of videos to edit still and to post. But overall, I love the I spent number days in month, day, blank, season, whatever, and I'll end that on that final video. So thank you so much for watching this video, and if you made it this far, I'm glad. And if you made it or came from my series of I do a daily drawing each day, I'm doing the daily drawings, but it's also filling my phone up. I don't put it through the storage system that I have drawing from my footage, so it's one of those things where it's like definitely the drawings have dwindled in quality and space, but I'm doing them. I just haven't posted them because one, I also am doing college, so I'm also doing like a school projects and whatnot. So it's a big takeaway and learning experience as well, just to be able to learn to adapt and choose your battles in what you will focus on. Right now, it feels like it needs to be grades over something that is a passion project like this. And what I want to take away is that I have a certain amount of months to finish this before, you know, money be nothing. Give me my money. Okay, that's where I ended there. Okay, thank you.